Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. I'd like to present to you my finished steampunk / mixed media horse journal. And wow, did I have some fun. I've got this camera set up at a different angle because the sun is coming through and was playing a bit of havoc. I'm filming this morning. So yes, so for those that have followed me would have seen the process of what it first looked like. But I did add a little bit to the cover, and what I did do is I found these metallic discs, and I couldn't believe it. I've got a little box full of them. So they obviously weren't in my steampunk box. So yes, I've glued them on securely, and those little ones as well. And I've also had one that fitted just beautifully around that clock that I had. Remember, I painted the outside of it. Well, it had something missing. I just wasn't super happy with it. So, it was just fantastic. And I've used a little bit on here and a little bit on here. And I've done the same on the back. I've applied some just there. And, of course, some here. And then I've just put some of those little metallic stick-ons on there. This is, you remember the black sequined fabric, and the colours just come out really, really pretty. I wasn't sure about the black, but by the time, I painted it, it came out really cool. So I really, really like this. And, of course, it's finished off and edged with a zipper. All right, so nothing is thrown away around this household. So, yeah, so the actual piece here is now secured, and what I've done is I've threaded through a very thin chain. This end is totally glued underneath, and this end I've let pop out and make it look as though it's going around that cog, just for a little bit of interest. This little horse is now, I now know who it's from Finally Crafting Wen. So thank you very much, Wen. And it's just a perfect size. I know you sent it to me like a little silver shabby chic one, but it now had now it's got a little makeover, and it's just perfect because they're so hard to find, those little metallic horses. So thank you. The closure, as you might remember, the book was like this when I started, and of course now it's expanded. So I had to move the jump ring, which was over here, to here, because it's got a bit filled now, and the closure is very simple. It's just a chain, and I've added this little dangle here from a necklace. It was just perfect because it was missing something, and because I don't have charms like representing steampunk or horses, I thought, well, that would just lend itself quite nicely. I think this is a bit of a copper colour. This is like an old gold colour, so it was just perfect. But, I'm really, really happy of how this has really, really come out. So let's go in and explore. So it's really easy. It's fastened with the brad on the back. So this journal measures 19 centimetres by 13.5, which equates to 7.5 inches by 5.25. It has 6 signatures, and each signature holds 6, and each signature has a pocket in the middle of the signature, except for one, and 2 signatures have got 5 pages. I don't know how that happened, but lost count somewhere along the line. So it's a total of 37 pages, which equates to 74, which equates to 148 front and back. So I hope that's right. So yes, just love the texture. I think my next journal is going to be the same, but it's going to be, well, I'm not going to tell you too much. So let's go inside and explore. So here's the binding technique for the signatures. Love this idea for a hardcover journal. And it lies flat. Just as long as you're aware that when you do want using it, just make sure that necklace just lies flat like that. The inside cover, as you would have seen in my last videos, is that lovely paper that I had. Firmly secure with PVA. The colours just come out absolutely beautiful, the texture of it. And you might remember I mentioned I was going to put some diamond dots along here to represent the nuts or the screws. Well, I did a little test run and they didn't adhere properly because it's very smooth and it is contact paper, and they came off after a couple of days, so I wasn't going to take any chances. So it's a little envelope, and I didn't make this a tuck spot because of the reason, because it's smooth. I wanted to make sure it stayed on there. It had the whole part of the envelope. You can close it, and you know the little tab just here sort of behind that, so it just secures it a little bit. And you can put this anywhere else in the journal, but at this point in time I've just popped that little booklet, and I've just sewn some scrappy papers in there, you know, just some notes, little horsey notes there. So let's venture in. I secured to the ends here because I were afraid. I was going to leave it, but then I thought, no, not really. I really want to secure it, so I've put some of this washi tape that Wendy Mason sent me. Thank you, Wendy. And I even glued that on with PVA glue, so that definitely won't come off. Here's one of my shopping dockets. Thank you, IGA, that I coffee dyed. And, of course, all the print's gone after a while. I just did a bit of a stamping there. Each signature, the front of each signature, let's try again, has got this printout that I've got like ages ago because I knew I was going to make a steampunk journal. A little band-aid, as we all know, sometimes a little tear happens, so I've put some paper there just for a bit of interest, just to secure it. I've done a little bit of stamping. Let's see if you can see that. A little bit of stamping here. Now this is paper that I collaged, and I'll tell you about that on the next page. And I've just done a little bit of stamping. Coming to the middle of the signature, I think this is the one that only has 5. So I've made a little paper pad there, and I stapled that on. Now I didn't colour the staples, being steampunk. I thought, well, it can have that little metallic look just there. So there's plenty of, I think there's an old book page. Yeah, this is a really old book page. It's got nice and brown on the back. There's nothing in this pocket at this stage. On the back of this page, I've made this into a tuck spot, and I've just covered the staple ends just on the end here. Okay, this is the collage paper that I've made. Was an experiment, but as we know, experiments sometimes turn out pretty cool. So what I've done is I used an A4 paper, and that had like print on that side, and what I'd done was I then added some music notes, some music paper, wording. This is of a paper pad, some book pages. This is of an inventory list, 1111. This is a delivery docket, book page, and I threw in a little bit of lace. And this is a map, and the doily, the pink is the doily, some more map, some music paper. And what I've done was, to get that wriggly effect, if you look really close, you can see all the little wriggles in there. What I've done was I had to buy myself a couple of loofahs, those shower loofahs, the net shower loofahs, because I needed a couple of different colours. I know it's new, it's not second-hand. But anyway, so in these days I don't think I'd really want a second-hand one. So I took it apart, and I cut a piece, and I stretched it over my A4 paper, and I pinned it, and then I photocopied it. And that's how it come out. And then once I photocopied it, I coffee dyed it to get that nice coffee dye, because I really don't like to put coffee dyed paper in someone else's copy machine. So yeah, and I just like it. So it's my own little printable, collage printable. Packing paper, a little bit more stamping. That's the end of the signature. Remembering the first signature has that cardstock to secure the binding on, okay? Some more of the printouts that I did, various papers. This was actually one of my coffee dyed papers, and I've placed it on a rack. You can see the lines. And this was actually a page from, you know how you do a test print page? Well, that's one of them that had all the different colours on it. And I really like how that came out. Bit of washi tape. Bit of, I think this was like scrapbook paper. And it's got this really fine fibres within. Here's a little pad. Was gifted to me in some Happy Mail. My little belly band. Some more stamping. And middle of the signature is the pocket, which is a magazine page. And this particular piece, I do believe, was gifted to me by Geo. I'm sure it was Geo. Thank you, Geo. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And I kept this book page because of all the metallic bits, and I popped on a couple of my die cuts in here too. But I kept them gold. Now I used this piece. I did a punch out, circle punch out, and I've actually kept this piece. I thought, bit of interest. Here's the other side of the printer color test page, and see how the colours all run once I coffee dyed it. I don't mind using that sort of way. And here's a tag I made. Now you'll never guess what this tag is made from. Thank you, Bunnings. It's actually a tag that you can pick up if you want to cover your kitchen bench. You know, they give you these samples, wood grain, and then the little speckles on the back. So I just glued some paper on the back and just my little printout here and made it into a very sturdy tag. And then just attached a little square paper clip, and it just goes on there. So end of signature, this is another signature. This is a book page, and had a big vase on it, and I've just used my pinking shears to make it look like a big stamp, and that's one of the printouts that I did. On the other side, I've made I've used 2 envelopes, and I was going to be able to make 4 tuck spots, but I decided not to because it is going to be, you know, quite heavy. I didn't want to overwork the page. So I've popped an envelope this way, so you can pop something in there, and this envelope this way, and you can pop something in there. So what I was going to do is, and you can even use this as a belly band too if you wanted to. I was going to make it another tuck spot between the 2 envelopes, but I thought it might be too much. So I've glued them both together, but you can make it a tuck spot on the back here. This is a little booklet, and can you see the belly band? Can you see the belly band? I bet you can't. That was a clear piece that was wrapped around some towels that I bought, and I thought, oh yes, that'll come in handy, and it did. So there you go. It's just an old invoice. Made little tabs from that binding so you can find your way to the center of the signature. This is the only signature I didn't make a pocket out of. I wanted to make a couple of tuck spots and use that lovely paper. I'm sure this was gifted to me. I can't remember. It was a 6x6 page. And this is, again, compliments from Bunnings. You know, those little coloured tags that you can get from Bunnings. And this one is called Grey Cabin, just there. Popped on a picture, and I found this cute little trim, sewed on some coffee dyed paper so that you can actually journal on. And this one here, I've made a tag from book pages. I just used a couple of different papers, zigzag, stitched it on, and then I made another little pocket. And of course this is the printout little ones, the pictures that I did, and I made a little tag out of it. Just pops on there. And little saying, understand why. You know what? And that's throughout a whole life, and even now at this crisis that's going around the world. You know, we have to understand. Sometimes we don't, because things just happen and we don't understand. But when you sit down and you know, and you have your thoughts, you've got to sort of say, you have to understand why things happen in a life. Is it a learning curve? Or most of the time it is a learning curve. That's how I see it. So, you know, understand why friends may not speak to us, understand why we have an argument with our parents, understand why things happen when they do. You know, we don't have any answers, but I think if you have more of an understanding in life, or in your life, yeah, it all sort of makes a little bit of sense. But even then, it doesn't make any sense like now. So coffee dyed papers, enough with the waffle. Here I've made a little journaling card into a little flip up, and I do believe there's, oh, that's come out of it. I found this in a book. It's a little photo from those Instamatic cameras, and it's got some horses on there. Can you see them just there? How cool is that? I'll just get rid of that sun. So yes, and that just goes under behind there. Couldn't remember where they got some papers. Remember, that's that stick-on trim that come on a roll, and I actually PVA glued this to make sure it's secured. Wrapping paper, just flip that out so you've got plenty of room to journal on. Enough room to put some photos on. This was gifted, this envelope was gifted to me. I thought that was pretty cool. Bit of a collage, a stamp. Flip it out and you can pop something in here as well. Is that in frame? There you go. And pop something in there, and that's on a magazine page. Next signature. See how nice and flat these signatures lay with this binding technique. Some more trim. This is a bit of cardstock, and you know, this can be a tuck spot if you wish, just like that, or flip around and you've got your ticket as a cardstock. Let's pop that back in here. Middle of the signature, again out of a book. You might remember this from my last video. It was a mechanical tall horse diagram that was gifted to me, and on the back it had the elk, where I actually covered it with some coffee dyed paper. The elk skeleton didn't really turn me on. So yes, so you can journal on this, and I stitched right around, and how interesting is that? And that just pops in here. And of course, I've made a little secret little envelope, and you can jot in some notes just in there. I didn't put any coffee dyed in there because there is lines there. There's room there to write in if you wish. And that just flips down. I didn't make a closer because it's that tiny. You know, I didn't think it would warrant to make a closure there. Sorry about the light, ladies. I'll see if I can... That's better. Some of more of those little stick-on stamps. Can you see that? Yes. I've got the camera at a different angle today. I've got a saw back, so I'm standing up. Cut out of a magazine. I've just popped it on the top of an invoice. Some of my coloured pages there. A little bit more stamping. You know, these stones are from coffees. Next signature. Now, I wasn't going to use this one. I just like that picture. I was going to use it as a cover for my next journal, but I thought, you know what? I'll use it because I can always print out another one. Some writing paper, you know. Plenty of room to pop a photo on. I've already put one on there. Some more stamping. It's the only key I have. I don't have any key charms. Yeah, so when I saw this out of a children's book, I said, yep, and you can get a chuckle out of seeing this character. And, you know, it's another pocket centre of the signature. Made a tuck spot with a book page and a magazine cutout. Now, this I've made into, this is a bag, and I think I'm going to make a pen and pop that in there as a little surprise. Tuck spot on here, back here, and then as I flip that over and stapled it, tuck spot here, and I flattened this staple so you can't hurt yourself. I wanted to show the metallic, and I do believe this comes from Geo. What I can remember, I'm sure. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Geo, Amanda, Chrissy, one of those lovely crafters, and the back is like that. How cool is that, eh? And I put an eyelet in, bulb pin, and this came off a necklace. So I've just popped that on there, and that just tucks in there. Some more stamping, more writing paper, a bit more stamping. And here's the last signature. Remembering the first and the last signature has to have that cardstock to be able to secure that to the back cover, and the front is to secure the binding. So let's go in this. Another nice little printout here. This is one of my. I used a curtain that I put on orange. That I've put. What did I do there? Oh yes, I had orange paper. I've put it through the printer, and then I put a curtain on top on the screen, closed it, and did a print, and it printed that out. So that was all the lines that it got out of it. Bit of stamping and the magazine cut out. Little stamp from the USA. Thank you very much, whoever sent me some happy mail. Some more stamping. This is my coffee dye papers. Flips down, flips out. This is a magazine gifted to me by one of the three ladies, Gio, Amanda, or Chrissy. And I've made that into a pocket, again being the signature, middle of the signature. And here are my sketches, my original sketches for my steampunk horse that I made, that you would all know by now. And no, I haven't sold it yet. I still have it here. I'm finding it very hard to part with. So, yeah, and you can journal on the back of these, okay? But it's got the scribbles of the original sketches. Bit more stamping. On the back, oh no, it's not the back, here's that orange paper. And I've popped in an envelope, or like a flip out envelope, and just popped on the bookkeeper's note in here. And this is the back, and on the back I've made a tuck spot, again with that nice paper pad, and I've fussy cut around it, and this lovely tag, thank you Amanda, that was in that horse journal that you gave me, and I absolutely love it, and I thought it just lends itself to pop in there as a fine little tag, because it says horse. And I didn't cover this too much, I just wanted to show the colours on that. And that's the end of the journal. So I hope you enjoyed the flip through, and it's really easy closure. Just pop it around, and if you find that you're going to fill it, all you need to do is just move that jump ring, which I've attached just there, to the next stage. If you need to, if you want to close it, I think I've got that wrong way around. It's better. There you go. Okay, and that's how it sits. It stands up nicely. You've got your tabs representing the middle of the signatures, and oh, that's just a little tag. Yes, so I've really enjoyed it. I hope you like the flip through. Let me know of your thoughts. You know, it's a mixed media steampunk, but just love all the colours, how they turned out. And like I said, my next journal will probably be a gypsy journal, and I think it'll be a mixed media one. So, yeah, so it's just... So I'm going to list this onto my Facebook page, Second Chance Creation. So if you are interested in purchasing within Australia only, because we know the postage is quite dear, it'll have the price, and the price will include the postage. So just private message me through my Facebook page there. Second Chance Creation. Until next time, enjoy your crafting, enjoy your day. I'm going to be doing a bit of gardening today. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I've got a bit of a sore back. I might do some baking and some more crafting. Okay then, till next time. Thanks for watching. Thank you for my new subscribers. I hope you find my videos inspirational. And I've just noticed that my subscribers, my list is growing, which is great. But at the end of the day, it's all about sharing a craft. Have a good one. Bye for now.